Hi, my name's Amanda. I'm a coach and a channel, and welcome to Monday's Guided Experiences with Spirit. Twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays, I come on live and I channel a guided experience for you from Spirit. And every experience is a little bit different, but the goal behind them is to give you an opportunity to think about any situation going on in your life that is creating some sort of an obstacle or frustration or uncertainty or lack of clarity. And rather than trying to figure it out using your conscious thinking brain, this is a guided experience for you to go deeper than that, to access a subconscious or unconscious part of you that has all of the wisdom, all of the information on how you're unknowingly creating this circumstance and how you can begin navigating it in a different way and answering all of the questions that have been creating all of the uncertainty around whatever that circumstance is, and recognizing that you not only have all of that wisdom inside of you, but showing you how to access it. Because it's one thing to understand it theoretically, it's another thing to know how to get it. And so these experiences provide some sort of structure to allow you to do that. And the way I go about this is I close my eyes, I tune in with spirit, and I give you an opportunity to get comfortable, to get quiet, to be in a place without distraction, for you to really focus on whatever this experience is here to offer you. And when we're done, if you're here with me live, you have all of the opportunity to have a Q&A with me. If there's something that came up for you inside of your experience that you would like clarity around, or that you're still a little unsure about, or that you would just like to talk through, I'd be so happy to support you inside of that. Or if there's just questions that you have for me about me personally, my life, my belief systems, or maybe some videos that I've been posting, or if there's just some part of you that just wants to talk about life, the universe, and everything, I'd be so happy to stay online with you and to chat with you. These are my favorite parts of my week, and so I just want to leave it open for whatever you're feeling that you need or that you would like to get out of this experience with me. So, before I get started, I'm just going to tune in with spirit to see if they would like to set this up in some way. I go into these with a very small under or general understanding of where we're going with it, but I never know 100% how it's going to unfold. And I think it's great when they can anchor in some sort of direction for us and just sort of set this up for us. So, what would you guys like us to know about this today? They're saying, get ready to get honest. They're saying that the lack of clarity that you have in your life around a situation or circumstance is created through the lack of understanding of how it's being manifest. And it's being manifest because you're not being honest about what you really want and what you're really willing to accept. And this is an opportunity for you to recognize how that's playing out and how you're facilitating that to play out, and to have an opportunity to decide how you want to move forward differently. If this is a situation that you are no longer willing to accept and that you would like to make an effort to change, it's going to come down to how you're willing to see your role inside of it and how willing you're going to be inside of showing up differently in order to create a different circumstance. They're saying that this is for those who are really ready for change and who are ready to recognize that it starts with you, within and with you. Cool. Oh my gosh. Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like us to know about this? Anything else you want us to know about this? No, they're just saying no. Get ready for a reality check. Okay, cool. Are you guys ready to get started then? Okay, they're saying we're ready when you're ready. So, this is your opportunity to Make a really beautiful, comfortable, safe space for yourself to navigate honesty inside of this experience. So you can turn down the lights, you can, make a cozy little corner for yourself to sit or lie down. You can turn on some music in the background, softly that you want playing. Underneath my voice guiding you, you can turn on. I know some of you have some like fairy lights or lava lamps or glow lights or something. I always see that popping up inside of these experiences. Anything that you need to do to make this as welcoming and comforting as possible in order to navigate what might be a vulnerable experience today. So you're welcome to pause if you're watching the replay of this and come back to it when you're ready. Okay, how would you like to begin? They said that they would like to begin with the breath, and that this is always a really great place to start if you're unsure how to, when you're doing this on your own, and you would like to do these more frequently on your own and you're not really sure how to get started. The best way to start is always with the breath, because that is going to ground you into your body. It's going to relax the mind, relax the nervous system, relax your physical body, and help you get into a brainwave state that facilitates a more intuitive approach rather than one where you're grappling with your more defensive, conscious parts. So, this is your opportunity to lie down or sit down. And really, it's up to you how you want to be positioned for this exercise today. And when you're ready, you're just going to close your eyes and just focusing on your breath. And you're just going to take a big deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs with air. And then you're going to hold your breath at the top for 3, 2, 1, and slowly exhale, letting all of the tension go. And we're going to do that again. Big deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs with air and holding it at the top for 3, 2, 1. Letting it all go, exhaling. Just feeling all of the relief that comes in as you exhale all of the tension in your body. And we're going to do this one more time. Big deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs with air. And you're going to hold it at the top for 3, 2, 1. And slowly and deeply exhale all of the oxygen left in your lungs, feeling all of the tension ebb away, and letting your breath return to normal. And as you lie here or sit here comfortably, they just want you to become aware of your physical body in this moment and how heavy it feels. And they just want to let your body fully ground into the surface beneath it. So you're going to start with your feet, just letting them go limp, uncurling your toes, letting your feet rest on the floor or heels on the ground if you're lying down. Just feeling them being pulled down to the surface beneath it. And then moving up to your calves, just feeling them against the floor or against the chair behind you. Just going completely limp and feeling really heavy. Going up to your thighs, releasing any tension in your thighs, just letting them relax. Feeling them being pulled down through whatever surface is supporting them. Feeling safe to just fully release. And moving up to your hips, letting go of any tension, any clenching that you're holding in your hips or in your pelvic area. Just allowing your breath to move really deeply into your pelvis every time you inhale. and noticing how often you breathe that deeply and what it feels like to do that now. All of the relief that comes with that. Maybe there's almost a surge in energy that comes with that. Maybe there's a relaxation that comes with that. Maybe there's some emotion that comes with that. Whatever the experience is, just noticing it and allowing it. It's something that you're inviting in with love, just allowing to be part of your experience. And just visualizing your spine, feeling it beneath you or behind you. Just becoming completely weightless against whatever surface is supporting it. Releasing any tension in your chest, in your shoulders, letting your shoulders droop down away from your ears, and letting your arms dangle by your side, releasing any tension in your fingers. Good job. Moving up to your neck, noticing where you're holding any tension in your neck. Just letting the base of your skull be supported by whatever surface is behind it. Noticing tension in your jaw. If you're holding your tongue, just letting it go. Letting your eyes droop so there's no tension in your eyelids. All of your facial muscles and jaw muscles just fully relaxed. This completely easeful energy that you've just entered facilitates a deeper connection, a connection to a part of you that has been trying to show you something, but its calls to get your attention are often drowned out by the environment that you navigate day to day. It's really difficult to get in touch with this part of you when you're distracted. So this is the perfect opportunity to invite them forward. And that's what we're going to do today. It's the deepest understanding that lives inside of you. It's the part of you that has a greater awareness than your conscious mind alone. And it's ready to share with you what you've been trying to understand about your life. At this time, you're being asked to think about a situation that you're currently dealing with, something in your life that's frustrating. And when you think about it, it makes you a little bit angry. It's frustrating that you're going through this. It's frustrating that you don't have the understanding or clarity about it that you've been needing or wanting. It's also frustrating that you feel responsible inside of the situation, that you're the one that has to figure it out, and that oftentimes you feel alone inside of that process, that there's no one that you can really rely on to help you with it. Because however hard you try to get them to understand it, it just feels like they can't fully grasp it in the way that you want them to or need them to. That they can't see the full picture or don't have a full understanding of what it feels like for you to experience it. And in some way that has felt lonely and isolating and aggravating because it doesn't feel good not to feel fully seen. And it's not their fault that they don't fully understand. It's just that they're not the ones going through it. And so they don't have the same level of understanding of what it feels like than you do. And I just want you to sit in that feeling for a moment, to pull that up, what it feels like to be navigating the circumstance and not fully know not only how to navigate it, but how to articulate it or express what it feels like to get the support that you really need. and just become aware of any tension or anxiousness or aggravation or frustration that comes up for you when you think about it. When you think about the fact that no one understands and they don't understand what it feels like to go through this, maybe they think they do, but they don't. Maybe they want to, but they can't. And the fact that you're dealing with it and you're being forced to navigate it almost alone or feeling like you're doing it alone or having to do it alone is what makes it that much more challenging. I also want you to think about if you've reached out to your team of light for support with this and what it has felt like to feel silence on the other end. You've asked for help to navigate this. Why is it still happening? Why haven't you been rescued from it or shown a way through? And it's deafening, that silence. Today, you're going to be shown why it feels so silent on the other end when you've been asking for help, why you haven't been given the guidance you've been looking for. Because on some level, apparently, you have. But there's a part of you that hasn't been willing to notice it or to take it in or to feel the responsibility that comes along with that knowing. And that is what is being addressed today, is how you've been disregarding the support that's been trying to get your attention because you haven't recognized that what is required in order to. That what's required is your willingness to feel the responsibility of taking on the leadership role here, meaning that it's up to you to guide your way through. And there is support here, but the support comes from you leading the way. And there's been a part of you that's been resistant to recognizing that and to taking on that position for whatever reason. And so they want to highlight that before we get started, that that's what's creating the disconnect. It's not that the support isn't here. It's not that the messages haven't been making themselves available. It just hasn't been coming through in the way that you've been anticipating it. And that's why you haven't been able to recognize it or access it. Okay, where would you like to go from here? They want you to ask the question, how am I responsible for this situation? And that might be an uncomfortable question to ask yourself, but they want you to ask it anyway. What is my role inside of creating this circumstance? How have I played some part in this? And where have I been unwilling to accept that that's true? That it's not all on me to figure out, that I am partially responsible for figuring out a way through, but I'm also partially responsible for recognizing that it is my making in the first place, and that there is a dual role here, a dual role in the creation of the circumstance, and also a dual role of figuring out a way through it. And they're saying there's always a dual role. Interesting. Can you explain that? Nothing is ever in isolation. Everything is a partnership between you and the energy you carry and the energy that facilitates each experience. They don't want you to think too much about that right now, but they just want you to recognize that there is you, and then there's the energy beings around you. There's the universe, there's soul source, there is your soul center. However you want to look at it or describe it or see it, there is always a partnership here between you and your energy and the energy beings and the relationships inside of each circumstance. And they want you to begin to look at it as a partnership rather than a singular isolated event that you are being asked to navigate alone. Even though it has felt that way, it's because you haven't been willing to see how big your role is inside of creating it. And that's the first step, is to take accountability for that. How have you helped to facilitate this experience? And how have you chosen to be the one responsible for it? And just let that recognition come up. Noticing any resistance inside of asking the question and any resistance around receiving the answer. They want you to open your heart here. It's going to be difficult for the answer to come to you if you're not willing to receive it. And so they really want you to open your heart to you, to this part of you that didn't know any better, this super innocent part of you that unintentionally created this circumstance, that didn't realize that this was going to be something you were going to be forced to endure. And so you took certain action, or you made certain decisions, or you spoke certain words, and it in some way helped elicit this outcome. And you did it so innocently. And they just want you to see this past version of you as this childlike part of you that didn't know any better, and open your heart to them so you can see their role in it. And it'll become much clearer when you can see it through that lens. They're just wanting to show you that it's possible to feel compassion and also um, direct honesty. That just because you're having to be honest about your role in a situation that you may regret, it doesn't mean you can't have compassion for the part of you that made that mistake or what you now see as a mistake. Both can go hand in hand. You can be honest with yourself, taking personal responsibility for something really challenging, and also have compassion for the part of you that didn't know better. And they just want you to hold that duality right now inside of you and to see that on the one hand, it's frustrating that you played this part in this situation. And on the other hand, you can have love for the part of you that created it, because it's going to be the love for that part of you that's going to find the solution. They're saying the solution cannot be created from the part of you that's judgmental or that's angry or that's frustrated. And that's why you're still looking for it. It hasn't come to you yet. And you have felt isolated and alone. And you have been blocking the information that's been trying to show you the way through, because you haven't been willing to open your heart to the part of you that helped facilitate it and that's going to be needed in rectifying it. And they just want you to sit here in this place of compassion, almost like a parent with their child. Their child did something wrong, and maybe you saw it coming. Maybe you're frustrated that the child should have known better. But as a parent, it's still your job to love them unconditionally. And you do, despite how angry you might be, how frustrated, how guilty, how resentful, how exhausted. You love them nonetheless. And they just want you to access that love from that parent perspective. And if you don't have children, maybe you have a pet, maybe you have a niece or nephew or a younger sibling. And they just want you to anchor into what that feels like to be so angry with this person or this animal, but also knowing that deep down you love them just as much. And there's nothing that they could do to take that love from you because it's just so deep. And just to feel that love for this past version of you. They didn't know better. If they had known better, they would have chosen differently. And you cannot fault them for that. And through this loving version of you, they want you to think about this situation differently. How could you approach this situation moving forward that would feel invigorating, they're saying, that would elicit a sense of freedom, a sense of optimism. And it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to seem realistic. They just want you to envision a way through that feels really satisfying. And just let it surface for you from this loving parent role. And it might feel uncomfortable to recognize what's needed. And that's the aha moment. You know now what's needed, and it sucks. Feels really uncomfortable. It requires you to take some sort of responsibility. It requires you to have a difficult conversation. It requires you to face an unknown or a fear or something that you've been trying to avoid. But you know that that's the way that's going to create the most openness on the other side of this. And in some way, maybe you always knew. You always knew what was needed. You were just hoping you wouldn't have to go about it this way. And they want you to take that in for a second because you have been blaming yourself for this predicament unknowingly. Now that you see the path forward, you're frustrated with your past self that you're having to face it and you're having to choose it and navigate it and do it. And that's why you've been unwilling to accept it or receive it because you didn't want to. You didn't want to have to go through with it. And you blame yourself for putting yourself in this position. But oftentimes, the reason why we can't receive the intuitive guidance we've been looking for is because there's a part of us that isn't ready to face what's required from it, the truth that we've been avoiding inside of it. And that's what they want you to see today, is you've had this knowing maybe all along, or maybe it finally came to you inside of this experience and this exercise. Or maybe there's a part of you that's still feeling unclear with it. And if that's the case, it's because more time is needed to sit with the open, compassionate part of you that's going to be willing to see it. The frustration you feel is the part of you that doesn't want to face the music. The melody that you helped create. And the path forward that you're going to be partially responsible for paving forward. And they're saying that once you've made your choice, you will navigate it in the best way you know how, and maybe with a lot more gusto than you anticipated. And you're going to learn from this experience just how much opportunity there is in taking the time to sit with the part of you that that requires assistance. And the next time there is a circumstance in your life that you're having trouble navigating, you'll understand that the deepest part of you already knows the way through. And in order to come to terms with whatever that is, it's going to require sitting with this parent version of you that can open up to love for the part of you that got you into this predicament. And allowing that energy, that part of you, that loving, compassionate version of you, see the way through. Because it is that loving, compassionate part of you that is how spirit speaks to you. And until you're willing to access them from within you, you cannot receive the wisdom that it's looking to offer you. The connection is always through you, but it has to be done from an open heart. Is there anything else you want them to know? They're saying trust. Trust that this experience was created to offer you this wisdom. Because had you never been forced to go through whatever this is, then you wouldn't have had this opportunity to rectify it and learn from it. And it is through this frustrating, aggravating situation that you are now learning how to navigate it in a different way. And so your deepest pain is becoming your greatest teacher in this moment. And the more painful experiences are creating that you are creating in your life, the more opportunity you will have at understanding how to navigate them with an open heart. And in that way, the part of you that you resent the most, which is the part that put you in this situation in the first place, is becoming the biggest lesson in how to access the deepest part of you and the part of you that can facilitate a way through that you didn't see before. And every time you're put back in the situation or a situation similar and you are forced to navigate it from an open heart, you will become a master at tuning in to the love inside of you and allowing that love to guide you. And so this part of you that you have been resenting is your biggest asset, if you can see them that way. They just want you to take this moment and show that love to this part of you, to thank them for creating this circumstance that they didn't intend to, that they didn't know better to, and that they innocently did without recognizing what it might create. Or maybe they did and did it anyway, and this is how it happened. And they want you to take an opportunity to thank them, to congratulate them, and to offer them love. Because they are offering you an experience that you may not have been willing to extend to yourself otherwise, which is one of love and compassion in times of frustration and doubt, and the capacity to access a deeper knowing inside of you that may not have been available had you not gone looking for a solution. And they want to remind you that this is an exercise that you can come back to every single time you're faced with an unknown or with a situation in your life that you're having difficulty navigating. And remember that the knowledge on how to move through, the information that you've been looking for, the messages, the guidance, it's here. It's inside of the compassionate part of you that feels unconditional love, regardless of the pain, too. And they just want you to come back into your body with this newfound information on how to navigate this situation. And perhaps a little bit of you that doesn't want to, and that's going to continue to look for an alternative solution. And they're just saying, they encourage you to. They encourage you to navigate this in whatever way feels best for you, knowing that if nothing else calls to you, this is something that you can fall back on and come back to. It's just one opportunity of many that you may find or create. And it's just one that came to you in a moment of recognition and openness. And therefore, it's something that you can look to anytime that you're wanting something different. And they just want you to ground you inside of this moment. So they just want you to envision a cord of light or feel kind of like a warm energy beneath you, just attaching you all the way down to the center of the earth, connecting you to the very core of Mother Gaia. And just feeling your body being pulled down into whatever surface is supporting it. Coming back inside of your body, feeling your breath, noticing your breath, wiggling your toes, moving your fingers. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and taking a moment to jot down any realizations or understandings or insight that you received from this experience. And remembering that anytime you're feeling disconnected from your intuition or from spirit or from a deeper part of you, all that's needed is the willingness to feel the love inside of you. Open your heart to you and invite that knowing through. And that is how you're going to receive it. Because in that moment, you'll be receiving you, which is where all of your wisdom lies and your connection to spirit and to every single part of you. When you're open to feeling it and receiving it. Great. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today for this experience with spirit. I would love to hear your thoughts about this, so feel free to comment below. If this is the type of content that you enjoy, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for more. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Guided Experiences with Spirit. Have a great rest of your day. Sending you lots of love. Bye.